everybody. My name is Violet Gutu and I'm a mentor at the Miss Zimbabwe UK 2015. I have a guest with me today in the studio, Mr. Simba Nyananga, CEO for Simba Media. Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Violet. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you. Mr. Nyananga, I just have a few questions I would like to go through with you today, which I think our viewers at home might, I presume these are the questions that most viewers at home would be wanting to understand. So I would like to talk you through some of the questions that I have in relation to this Miss Zimbabwe UK. Obviously, there's a lot of culture shock in issues like beauty pageants, and a lot of people have got questions that they feel it's need rectifying. First of all, before we get into that, could you please tell us more about yourself?
Thank you so much for having me, Violet, and I really appreciate you taking time to address most of probably what you have, and I'm so much appreciative of that. My name is Simbarashe Patrick Nyananga, and I'm the founding CEO of Simba Media Incorporated, registered in the United Kingdom and also registered in Zimbabwe, Simba Group International. It's a holding company that, apart from Miss Zimbabwe UK, it runs the operations of Zim Online Radio, Zim Online News, Pageant Awards, just to mention a few. Recently, we also acquired the properties 263. So basically, that's what I do. I'm the founding chairperson for that.
So do you run this Simba Media in your own capacity, or are you running it as an organization with other people?
Simba Media is an organization. It's an organization that is far much bigger than me, than myself. There are a lot of people, not only in the UK, but across the globe. Some are in America, some are in Australia, some are in South Africa, and we have a few also in Zimbabwe as well.
Okay, tell us a bit more about this Miss Zimbabwe UK. How do you incorporate Miss Zimbabwe UK into Simba Media, and what's your role in the Miss Zimbabwe UK in particular?
Miss Zimbabwe UK is a brand that has been quite, that is close to my heart personally. I have been a sponsor for Miss Zimbabwe UK way before we took over the brand. It was in the past being run by Zim Expo. I'm an American-based company, and where I was in our corporate position as sponsors for the Miss Zimbabwe. And in 2009, we decided to be actively involved so that we know, because as you probably might understand, that the brand had a lot of controversy, a lot of problems. Many people had a lot of queries here and there. So we said, instead of us putting in money as sponsors, we also want to be actively involved, so that if there's anything that we need to rectify as a brand, we will contribute to that. However, as we got in aboard, there were some boardroom problems that we had, and we didn't want to turn away our commitment to the brand, because the reason why Simba Media has had committed to the brand is purely on the basis of empowerment, on youth empowerment and women empowerment. I myself is somebody that has been raised by a single mother, and predominantly my life has been raised and trained by women, starting from I was born and raised by a single mother and my grandmother. Then I was raised by the LCBL sisters at the school that I went. And I know the power in women if they are properly groomed. And I've seen a lot of women being disempowered right from their young age. And that is why from 2002, I have been quite actively involved as a sponsor. And that's the reason why we actually took the brand Miss Zimbabwe UK aboard.
So, in essence, what you're trying to tell us tonight is that Miss Zimbabwe UK is run entirely on sponsorship.
We would love to say that that is run entirely on sponsorship, but currently the climate is not very comfortable for sponsorships. I don't know whether it's because of the economic challenges that the country has had faced, or it's just the complacency of the Zimbabwean corporate sector, whether here in the diaspora or back home, because I do believe my team, there are very few doors that they've not knocked for sponsorship. But the responses are always the same. Either they are not interested or their brand does not, it's not within the scope of their brand to sponsor pageants. But again, we can't turn away from this, because if we don't empower our youth now, we don't have a future. So it's something that I would actually want to appeal to all Zimbabwean the corporate world, that this is not all about parading our young girls naked on the ramps, but this is all about taking our girls and having people like yourselves to mentor them, to make them see the pitfalls of life, and to train them. Because the principle that we work with is, if we don't inspire our youth with things that we have control over, they will out there will be inspired by things that we have no control over, and that will make our community, that will make our society absolute. So at the moment, we hardly do have any sponsors. It's purely funded by Simba Media predominantly. But we are hoping, even on the tenure of this year, we're still hoping that we'll get some sponsors. We have had people that sponsor in kind, like yourselves, who say that you actually want to come be a mentor. We know that you have left your busy schedules, you have paid expenses for you to be here, and I know it's something that you are taking for quite some time. So we are grateful to some community members who actually come aboard and to sponsor within their response. But the corporate world really is, we feel like it's just turned back on the future of the country.
What efforts are you making to reach out to all these corporate companies to attract them to be more forthcoming with sponsorship?
Fundamentally, it is the way we run ourselves. We tend to run ourselves as a brand that we don't want it to bring controversy, humiliation, or that will be run in a way that they will feel like it's unprofessional. We try to keep and maintain a professional approach to running the brand. And also, we also try to make sure that we give them exposure. The brand, I'm sure you know yourself, we have got marketing campaigns that we do have. And we would also we don't want them to come and give us money for free. We would actually want them to come and invest in a brand that will also give them that same exposure, that they need within their corporate gains. We also try to make them realize that the girls that we work with, we don't just pick the girls, run them on the ramp and forget about them. Miss Zimbabwe UK, we thrive to make it something that runs throughout the year, and the girls that we work with, you actually see them, right? If you're going to look from 2010 when it took over, we've produced some girls, some of them that have actually went on to spearhead the industries, like we do have Cecilia Kuda, who is now sitting in the panel of the Zima Achievers Awards. She runs her own magazine. We have Samantha Tafumane, who also is now in the media as well. We've got Ella Vumbe, who runs her own. So what we do is, when we take these girls, we don't just run them on the ramp. We take these girls and we empower them. We make them believe in themselves. We want to empower them. Yes, along the way, we've got some girls who would say, "Oh, it's not for me," or "It was good while it lasted." But as a policy, we try to make sure that we empower them, and then they become brands that even the corporate worlds would actually, if they would associate themselves with, it would actually go quite a mile further in their marketing protocols.
As a mother of three girls myself,
yeah,
I can't help but ask, what's your interest in a beauty pageant as a man? What convinced me that I should be comfortable with bringing my daughter to a beauty pageant?
That's a very interesting question, Violet. Thank you so much for making me realize that you're a mother of three. That is the reason why we actually want people like you to invest in Miss Zimbabwe UK. Not necessarily financially, but your interest in knowing. My interest, let me make this personal to you. I am a human being that was born by a mother. And I'm a human being that was born by a mother who was disadvantaged. Not because she's somebody that had no quest in life, but because there was a man out there who didn't even care about what he will be. But maybe if there were people that would have empowered her from a youthful age, she could have had that differently. She would have had her life differently. So I'm saying, in my salutation to all women out there that have been disempowered, is the least that I can do. I'm privileged to be in the media industry. I'm privileged to be somebody with passion. I'm privileged to realize the cause. I'm sure we read countless times, nearly on a daily basis, how much a woman has been disempowered, a woman has had her rights taken away. Let's take, for example, in back home in Zimbabwe, the age of consent is being lowered, is being debated to be lowered to 12.
Yeah.
As a mother of 3, how do you feel?
Disgusted.
Would you expect me to sit
Very
on the wayside
No.
simply because I'm a man?
No.
I do have influence, and that is the reason why I got into this. With my influence, let it bring positive change. And for that, I will do with every drop of blood I have, with every breath of air I have, with every inch of every bone that I have, with every inch of the muscles that I have.
There's a school of thought that before the girls walk on the ramp, they come to these boot camps, and there's a belief that men like you prey on the girls and to win favors into winning. How do you ensure that things like that don't happen, and what can you tell us? The viewers at home would like to know how that is avoided.
I'm not going to comment in the past before I got into administration, myself personally, because I've personally invested in it, because I believe if you're going to run anything, you need to take personal responsibility. But ever since we got into the administration of Miss Zimbabwe UK, we have always invited the public, we've always invited mothers, we've always invited families to be part of us, so that they can at least have, I'm sure you've been here for the past 2 days.
Yeah.
And you probably have got your own view of how we run things. So it's easy for people out there with no experience, who don't know what we do, for them to come up with innuendos, to come up with all these storylines. But should that intimidate us? No. Should that stop us? No. The girls, they do have a testimony. Their lives, they do have a testimony. Mothers that have come and engaged with us, they do have their testimonies. To us, this is where we owe the explanation. But again, we always invite the public. That's the reason why we say to the public, please come and be part of us, come and be with us, because this is all about building our community and building our community together. So innuendos like that, they do come. And sometimes, yeah, they do discourage. But should they stop us? No, they shouldn't. And should they discourage us from the programs that we have? I don't think so.
Thank you. How do you ensure the girls' integrity in these beauty pageants? How do you protect their integrity, their respect, their dignity? How do you maintain that as part of the panel, organizing panel?
First and foremost, Violet, every year what we do is we set out a panel of mentors. Mentors, we don't pick random people to be mentors. We don't pick people from the street to be mentors. We look at wise, mature women among us, and we entrust them to build the panel of the mentors. These are, in most cases, mothers, like yourself, a mother of, I didn't even know that you're a mother of 3 girls, but I'm sure the part of your team that picked you, they didn't pick you randomly. They calculated that move. They made sure that at the end of the day, you are going to be somebody who come here with the heart of a mother, with the heart of not only a heart of a mother, but the heart of a woman that understands women empowerment, that understands the quest of success. I was privileged to actually sit in one of the panels when we were speaking to the girls. All you were teaching them was for them to be ambitious, for them to believe in themselves. So we maintain the integrity of the girls, first and foremost, by making sure that they are equipped by the right people. Secondly, social media now has become a monster within our community, and it's a monster that is being used and abused in so many cases. Like just last year alone, we have had some of our girls cyberbullied, while others say that the right to criticize, understandable, but again, that right to criticize, it actually went on to become cyberbullying. So that, because I'm somebody who is into media, I run a media company with a lot of other media personalities. So what we do first is, instead of actually looking aside or standing to becoming bystanders, we make sure that as the girls are walking the journey with us, we also become their professional PR consultants, making sure that at the end of the day, they are not just vultured by the media. And thirdly, also, we interest ourselves in the conduct of the girls alongside with their parents, their guardians, and all, just to make sure that we we get out the maximum we can from the girl, and that's to make sure that we also input as maximum as we can for good integrity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zimba. Our next question. The recent Miss Zimbabwe pageant.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of bad publicity about that. What measures have you got in place to prepare these young girls that are getting into your beauty pageant?
So when you say the
recent Miss Zimbabwe in Zimbabwe.
Oh, the Harare one.
Yeah, the Harare one.
Okay.
By the way, before we get into that, how are you connected to the Miss Zimbabwe? Is there any connection? Is there a link between the two?
Apart from that, we are all registered with the National Arts Council of Zimbabwe to promote Zimbabwean arts and culture. We don't have any relationship at all. And that, apart from the fact that we are all Zimbabweans, I believe that we do have the same objective to empower these girls. But from what we've realized, let me comment first on my personal taking. I am very much disappointed with what has happened in Harare. Not necessarily disappointed with the conduct of the girls, but I'm disappointed with the conduct of the pageant administrators. I've not seen much that they've done to shield the girls from the bad publicity, and having more than 3 repetitive cases of the same. Any sane thinking person should tell you that there is a red smelling there. And the way the girls get treated, then it's not empowerment, it's disempowerment. Because what they do is rumors come in and they just let the girl be trampled by the social media and all that, while they do nothing, absolutely nothing about it. Then the next thing that we all know we can bet our money on is that the girl will be dethroned. But hardly do we see the tangible evidence that this is what has happened. Now, what we do is when we get the girls, we get to understand the girls. We get to build strength with the girls. We get the girls to focus on the positive and the strength they do have, they do possess, or they potentially can get to. That way, this is a true empowerment. Now, let me say this on an official basis. Every human being above 18 do have a certain way they run their lives. And when we groom them and when we judge them, we groom and judge them based on from when they have applied. If they do have a past, there are so many people that were even convicted of murder, but that went on and become beacons in the society, in the community. So to punish a girl by innuendos of what is alleged to have happened, and without bringing out the evidence of what is claimed to have happened, I think it's not correct. And it's something that, as long as our brand is still going to be associated with Miss Zimbabwe UK, I don't think it's anything that we'll allow on our watch.
So would you object to anyone that has a notion that these pageants are female exploitation?
Yes, I would object to that, because as long as they say these pageants, we're already included in them.
Yes.
And I'm trying to think under our watch any single female that has been taken advantage of. Unless if I don't realize, and you probably realize what I don't know. I don't remember any one of the girls or any member of the team that has been taken advantage of.
Do you work alongside the families in particular in order to assist you with preventing issues like this? Because obviously, if anything like that had to happen, you wouldn't be able to handle it on your own. What relationships do you build with the families of these girls?
Fundamentally, when we sign these girls, when we process their applications, among the details there, we also collect their next of kin details. And when we do collect those next of kin details, we also make an effort to engage with them. All the pageants that we've had the input of parents. And we've even had some parents that had said, I've been here because my daughter is involved. The perception that I had of this pageant and what I've seen is completely different. So yes, we do work with parents, we do work with guardians, and we want to continue to do so. And we say to mothers out there, If your daughter have got interest in participating in Miss Zimbabwe UK, please do not judge based on the perceptions of the past or on the perceptions of what you see elsewhere. Engage with us. If you do have any questions that you do have, ask us the questions. And if there is any chance, perchance, please come engage with us and be part of us, and because we want to work with you. We run Miss Zimbabwe UK not for our own gain, but for the strength of the community, and by also ensuring that we do have a perpetuated Zimbabwean community, and to celebrate our heritage.
Just as a last, could you just talk our viewers through how the process for entering Miss Zimbabwe is, in case anybody would like to get into the Miss Zimbabwe pageant for next year? Just talk our viewers through what the process is.
Everything that we do is, the information is available on our online portal, which is www.misszimbabweuk.com. There will be, like now, there's still the application form for 2015 because we have not closed yet. Yes, we have started. This is the first boot camp we've done. But should there be anybody still willing to apply for 2015, you can still do so. You just go online. It's a straightforward online application form where you submit your information, some pictures. Basically, that's that. And a member of our team will be in touch with you to process your application. Again, even with getting to 2016 as well, very soon, as soon as we close, as soon as we finish Miss Zimbabwe UK 2015, there will be an application form for the 2016-2017 tenure.
Thank you very much for your time today, Simba, and thank you to our viewers.
It has been my pleasure, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.